Hello, this is in our Silvertree. Welcome to Silvertree Rune Readings. And here we are. I hope this reading finds you well. If it does not, may you take what resonates and what you need from it as a personal medicine to help you interpret what's going on in your reality. Here we go. I'm going to jump right into this. I am having a wonderful, fantastic day today. I spent the day creating, so I'm in like this very creative space right now, and it's a lot of work, composing and writing, producing and editing, music and the videos, and I'm learning so much, and I think I'm slowly making improvements, but I feel really happy to be here in this moment and being in this space of creativity. With that being said, I meditated for 15 minutes prior to the reading, just to clear out the energy because I have a ton of energy going on right now, personal stuff going on, but anyway, I felt pushed and called to do this reading. So as you can see, I pulled this rune here, if you can see it. Perfect. Right there. I call this the broken cycle, new path. Broken cycle, new path. But I honestly don't really feel like anything's broken here. The full moon portal, I'm making this before the full moon portal actually, so this will come out in the when you're watching this video, it'll be in March. So we're in the closure of the full moon energy. So this still is tied to this energy that's beginning to open up while I'm making this video presently. But during my meditation, the word explore, explore the doors to ocean. Now, when we think of ocean, we think of water, we think of deep, deep waters, the mystery, the unknown. We think of huge sea storms, we think of secret, mysterious creatures that haven't been discovered yet. But explore was the main word, the main theme that came up very strongly. And, people that I know in my personal life, in my immediate family, relatives of mine, friends that I know, acquaintances that I think about, we're all going obviously through challenges where our typical cycles are being disrupted, from the past 5-10 years, 5 7 I believe in the cycles of 1 3 5 7 11, and or 7 9 11, and meaning every 3 years, every 5 years, every 7 years, every 9 years, every 11 years, and so on and so forth. There are shifts and changes that happen within our own individual paths that we take. And, given that all of us are facing this disruption to the cycles of, of thinking, the cycles of our emotional cycles, our mental cycles, our spiritual cycles, our sexual cycles, we have the ebb and the flow of life. Now, given that we're entering into, or I think we are in the season of Pisces, so the Pisces portal, but then we have the full moon portal, which is in Virgo, so it's the Earth. So, and then Mercury retrograde, which is Aquarius. So Aquarius is wind, Pisces is water, and then we have that Earth energy in Virgo. So we have Earth, wind, and fire. Okay, so for me, as exploring what we can do in the seasons, these external seasons of these energy influxes, meaning, in the season of the Pisces, where, if you have Pisces in your makeup or any water in your makeup, which we all do because we're all elements and we're all alchemists, that water, what is your emotional state in, your creative space. Now, I'm tying this to, economic hardships, emotional hardships. Economic meaning people are having to leave a job, or jobs are leaving you. Emotional meaning you're cooped up in the space with the same people every day, or you have no one around you, so isolation. And then, what else? Just a lot of, that stagnant energy where everyone feels stuck, and like the whole world is going against them. Their employer is going against them. Their kids are going against them. Their spouses, their business is falling apart, or we have so many obstacles, and it can overwhelm us and make us feel like we can't break out of a cycle, this circle. It just goes round and round and round, and we can't get out of it. But obviously, in this energy of this symbol, it's like, no. You have a choice. You can explore, or you can implode on yourself. Let all the weight of the world just get you down to the point where you can't function and you just feel stuck. I was speaking to someone very dear to me today, and this person was going on and on about how pretty much everything's going, against this person, right? The boss is after him, the coworkers are after him. The trauma from the past is keeping him down. And I find that we as human beings are here to create. We're creators. And I don't mean to make it so dualistic, but we have a choice. We can create or we can destroy. And I believe, both. We as human beings, we do both. In a lifespan of a human being, we destroy and we create. But what we really want to do is to make sure that there's a balance, right? Because I find that you can create and create and create and create and create, but then you're not really letting go of something. In order to create, sometimes we have to destroy something. Sometimes we have to let it go. And when I say destroy, I don't mean to cause that in the sense of causing strife and horror and pain on other people or yourself. I'm thinking of that video game. Oh my gosh, what is it called? It's like a Lego Minecraft, okay? And Minecraft, you're building a world, okay? And sometimes you can go in and completely destroy something in this mine, in this space, to build something bigger and greater for yourself and for other people. And I find that that's what we're asked to do. Accept the boss not wanting you anymore. Accept the man or woman that doesn't want you in your life. Accept these things that seem like they are blocking you. I don't believe that. If someone doesn't want you in their space, if someone, if you feel like your energy isn't really in alignment of the energy and where you're putting it, and it's just not a good fit for you, or you feel like the skills you have aren't in alignment of the environment you're in, then it's time to let it go. And it's time to explore something new. You see these two, and this is, to me, it's a broken arrow. So the arrow has gone through a circle, all right, and it's broken. So the arrow is broken, the cycle is broken, and now you have room to create and to explore a new path. A path that's not, easy. It's not easy to... I find it takes more effort to destroy than to create. I really, really do. It takes a lot more energy to deconstruct something than to create. Earlier today, I was composing a piece using computer software or music software, and usually some of these pieces that I compose, they're less than a minute, like maybe 2 minutes, and depending on how intricate I want the piece to be, and it takes a lot of time. And I understand what recording artists go through and why it takes them 2 to 3 years to make a really good album, because it's very meticulous work to get that perfect recording, that perfect performance. Okay, that no live performance could ever touch, really, because it's a recording is perfected. But my point with that being is that I was in this space of just creative flow. Have you ever been in a space where you're drawing something or you're reading? I'll use a book. You're reading a really, really, really good book and you can't put it down. I mean, you're at home, you have the free time, but you can't put this book down. That's happened to me on several occasions when I was in my younger years, I'd say when I was a little girl, all the way up through like high school and part of college. I was a book person. Like, I loved reading books, so many books. Books was my entertainment growing up. And so anyway, there was the book, the Hunger Games, and I was in the middle of traveling out of state, didn't know anybody, and lo and behold, I had these 3 books. I had all 3 books available to me. Do you know, within a week I read all of them? I don't know how, but I did. It was so captivating. And that's kind of how I feel when I'm making music. I feel captivated in the putting all the pieces and the sounds together. And sometimes I hear it in my head, and when I put it out there, it doesn't quite sound like how it's in my head. And sometimes it comes out exactly how it was in my head, and I'm like satisfied. And sometimes it doesn't, and I'm even more surprised on how it all unfolds. And that's one of the beautiful things I find, that it's kind of like I had an epiphany today, how I just need to allow myself, give myself permission to explore new paths. Like, I should probably write that down. Don't limit, the self to one way, to one career, to one way of being, to one just this. There's nothing wrong with oneness, but sometimes when we're breaking out of a cycle, we're like, okay, well, now I'm gonna grab onto this job like nothing else. As soon as we break this old cycle, this old job, let go of a relationship, we cling to this path. But as you can see here, it's open-ended. Anything can happen over here. Anything can happen over there. These are doors. These are doorways that are wide open. Nothing's blocking you anymore. You're getting out of your own way. And so explore new paths in a way that you can have fun with it. When you're thinking, like, kind of what I'm going through right now is this whole career thing. Like, yes, I want a career. Like, I'm asking myself all these important questions that 30-something would ask themselves. What's the purpose of my life? What is my ideal life? What's my dream life? What do I need to do to accomplish it? How do I need to change my lifestyle? What are things I need to invite in my life? What are things I need to let go? And it's dawning on me right now, today, that I can live the life that I desire. But it takes really deep faith in the exploration part of it. Like, when I think of, those men and some women, but mostly like hundreds of years ago, when the men would go out to other lands, and how much courage they had to have to explore the unknown. And many, many, many people lost their lives. Many people didn't return home. When you think of the early settlers who came to the Americas, and I'm not talking about the conquistadors and people, the armies and the governments that wiped out the indigenous tribes. No. I'm talking about the families that came who just were seeking a better life. And they knew that it was a big risk, leaving all that they knew, their language, their culture, everything behind, to start anew, to start afresh. And I find that, especially in this decade, in this energy, we're being asked to explore different paths, be open to exploring new paths. And yes, feel the fear, feel it, feel the fear, feel the doubt. I hear all the time, I don't have the money, the money, the money, and if you let money dictate your happiness in life, if you let money dictate your dreams, if you let money dictate your visions, if you let money dictate the potentiality and the possibilities of what could be in your life, you're going to have a very sad, sad, unfulfilling life. Because most experiences in our lives, money, yes, plays a part in it, but it's a very small percentage of the whole experience. In my younger years, when the first time I ever left, because I left the U.S., to Canada when I was a very young girl. But as a as a woman, as a young woman on my own for the very first time, I, had just enough. I had just enough to get that ticket. People were helping me, relatives were helping me, just to get a couple $100 closer to my destination. I had all these things come together, but the experience outweighed the stresses of me not having quote unquote enough. It was something higher than myself, greater than myself, that was pushing me towards that experience. And I find that even now I'm getting prepared for another transition in my life. And I find that those of us that are natural travelers, and what I mean is people who are you're naturally pulled to travel. And I'm not talking about you having to travel every 3-6 months of the year. I'm not talking about those nomadic people that you have to go to Timbuktu and to Dubai and to the Sahara, or to Ulaanbaatar in Mongolia, to have to say that you're a traveler, to confirm that you are a legit voyager. No, I'm talking about the travelers that when you're in your hometown, something calls to you, you leave it. Like the land. Like, I find that with travelers, they're more connected I find they're more connected to the earth in more ways than people who are stay at home or stay in their hometown for the majority of their life. We know intuitively when to leave. We know intuitively when to stay. And, I think, for people who are natural homebodies, meaning they don't leave their small town, they don't leave, what they know. It's like I feel like as voyagers and as explorers and travelers of the land of Mother Gaia, of the earth, everywhere is our home. We can make anywhere our home, regardless of what race or ethnicity, what tongues we can speak. We can adapt and we can move and shape shift in whatever environment is needed. And I consider myself a citizen of the world rather than a citizen of a nation or of a state or of a city. Every city, every state, every country, every land has been my home, is my home, and will be my home. This is my planet. My home is my planet. And my countrymen and countrywomen are my family. Now, that's very esoteric, hippie, dippy way of looking at it. But when it comes to exploration, I'm going to tie this back to career, because that's what I think that's